What's up, my dudes and dudettes? Welcome to the party. I got something here that I had trouble finding on the internet. How do I remove my choke? Well, you don't remove the choke. It's in the carb. But what you can do is you can bypass it. Disclaimer, of course, if you damage your bike trying this, it's at your own risk. I live in Nashville. We get cold winters. I never needed the choke. I was cleaning up my controls. I have dual carb on the 1100, but this should apply to any carburetor. And I needed to get rid of the cables. I had them wadded up, just kind of like zip tied there. I was looking around at like the plungers and whatnot and thought, why spend the money if I don't need that? The only information on the internet that I could find were in some jet ski and chainsaw forums, and there was no pictures or part numbers on how to do it. Just they were able to plug it somehow. First of all, you got to understand how a choke works. In here, where the cable leads, there is a jet in there, which is basically a little brass needle, okay? Now, with your choke off, and you're not using it, that needle is all the way in. And it's plugging the hole and preventing that extra bit of fuel from going into the carb to help you start when it's cold out. All right? So, if you want to bypass the choke, you need to keep that needle or jet fully engaged. All right? So when you unscrew that, you're gonna end up with one of these guys. Now, the cable is gonna be running through the back of that, okay? And it's in the eye hole slot there. And it's all kind of held together with the spring wrapped around the back of the jet. I don't know if you can see that. All right. So you pull the spring back. You're gonna slide your little cable off out of the eyelet. You can get rid of this bullshit. All right. Now, there's going to be two tricky parts to this. The first is that you need to get this back into its spot. And I use like crafting pliers, needle nose pliers. You can use a pair of tweezers, whatever it takes. Just, you're not going to be able to do it with your fingers unless you are extremely small digited. So, just grab that bad boy. You're going to slide it back into its little hidey hole and just let it chill. Now here's the second tricky part. You're gonna need to find a screw or a bolt that will screw into where the cable went through and be nice and snug. You know, it's actually gonna thread in there. So that's the first thing it's gotta do. The second thing is it's gotta be not too long to where it's gonna smash the back of that jet, right? So you're gonna want, the one I have is just about flush with the back of this thing, all right? Put my spring on. Now when I put the spring in, it's gonna go exactly over how it used to and snug up on there and hold the jet fully engaged, bypassing the choke. All right. Okay, let's slide that sucker right back on there. Yeah. These things actually thread on pretty damn easy by hand. I put a little plumber's tape over it just because I'm anal about mechanical shit like my dad sometimes. Good old fucking never sees and Loctite kind of guy. All right. You're gonna kind of hear it you know, scrunch down a little bit. Now, if you get the vibe that something's off, like you're hitting the back of it because your screw's too long, or maybe that the spring has somehow like perhaps bent off track or whatever, then open it up and redo it. Okay, it's like it should go. If you've got the spring started on the screw, and you can see that it goes over the back of that jet, then you're fine. I'm gonna snug it back down. Like so. And that's that. That's all there is to it. Now I have a dual carb, so I did it to both sides, and it cleans it up. Now eventually I'll probably put some kind of like brass screw over there on the back of it. But for now I just kind of found the piece of hardware that worked. Okay, and just to show you guys that I'm not full of beans, ta-da! No choke cable. Fuck yeah. Runs like a champ. So thanks for tuning in. This was your free little dose of catnip. Peace.